while. Yeah, let's be real. It has been a while, and I guess I'm not like a normal YouTuber in that I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I don't have a regular video schedule. I don't have a theme throughout my videos. It's just very sporadic. There's an idea, I'll just do that. Which kind of is reflected in my lack of consistent videos. So sorry about that, but this is what you signed up for. I'm actually here because I want to do a video. I realised since starting up my YouTube kind of seriously, in that I try and do more serious videos as opposed to like sporadic videos that I made when I was 12 years old in a shopping trolley, which is back in the logs if you go far enough back. You don't really see that. You don't see that. But I wanted to do a video just kind of answering some questions. Now I know I've done a video before answering questions that you've asked, but I've seen as a theme that some people do, like answering questions to get to know someone a bit more. So I've literally just Googled questions to get to know someone. I haven't looked at them in advance, so you're going to get them straight from me here now. And I'm doing this just because I feel like I'm an open book in one sense, but I'm also not. You know, there's things I do keep private. I think everyone is that way in a sense, but there's probably like questions, I don't know what these questions are going to be, but hopefully they'll make you maybe understand me a bit more. It's something I would say to a therapist. What am I talking about? Hopefully you enjoy this video. That's all I gotta say. I'm not going to edit this video because I'm just going to leave this raw. I feel like when I edit videos, it's so time consuming, and I mean, I like putting a lot of time into editing, and what happens then is I reach a point of saying, I don't want to keep doing this anymore, I'm losing my mind editing this. And so I'm just going to put this up in full because I know once I stop filming this, it's done. So I apologise if you were looking for some sick edits. There won't be any in this video, and I do apologise. So I'm just going to get straight into it, I think. So I just Googled literally questions to get to know someone, and it's given me a list. Now there's a list, okay, there's 25 here. Okay, so I'll just do the 25. Well, we'll see. There might be something I won't be able to answer, who knows. Let's just go from the top. So question 1 is, who is your hero? There is only one person that comes to mind. Well, many people come to mind, but there's one person that stands out, should I say, because I don't think I'd be where I am today doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for this person. And I wrote a card for this person telling them that they were my hero, and that was my primary school teacher, who introduced our whole class to making film, and we had to make a short film when we were in primary school, so like aged 11, and that was my first introduction to media at all. And this was at a time of like camcorders and, you know, DV tapes, and had I not been introduced to that, I would not be doing what I do today. I would not be working in media, and I can trace all of that back specifically to my primary school teacher. And he was just such an inspiration to me, honestly, and encouraging as well, because I came from a rural area, so like technology jobs weren't really the biggest industry. You know, it was mainly farming or construction or things like this, and this was that time, I suppose, as well, where technology and media were becoming more prevalent. And had it not been for him, I don't think, there's no way to think about it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today, because that Christmas then I asked Santa for a camcorder and just fucking filmed everything. Every single thing was filmed. Tell you a really tragic thing. I lost that hard drive. I recently lost the hard drive with all my home videos and everything, and like, I do get a little sad thing about it, because that's like all, you can see like the progression, I guess, in my filming of when I started using like Windows Movie Maker. Sweet Jesus, that thing would crash. I found hacks in how to stop it crashing in a way that it wasn't supposed to be used, but that would still edit it. If you've ever used that editing software, my heart goes out to you. I feel your pain. I've been there. We should go to a group session together and talk about it. But yeah, I lost that hard drive, I believe, on a train. I was going to a podcast festival for the Substantial Meal with Martin and Golo, who you probably know from the Try channel, and Dermot Ward was there. Well, he wasn't. He was there in spirit. he couldn't travel during that time, but I think I lost it on that trip. And I contacted the guards, I contacted the taxi drivers, it's just vanished. And like, it's not as if there's anything, I was gonna say it's not as if there's anything valuable on that hard drive, but there is, because it's all my childhood home videos. And yeah, it's quite sad that I've lost that. But what can you do? So that's who my hero is. And I truly would not be doing what I'm doing now if it wasn't for him introducing that word, but also being encouraging, whereby his brother worked in that industry and had seen the short film we'd made, and I had filmed and edited it, and he had said, who filmed this? They've got an eye for this. They should keep at it. And I mean, in one sense I'm like, thank you for introducing me to my future career. Maybe if I'd have gone another way, I'd be a happy home ec teacher though, who knows? But that's honestly, when I hear that question, that is who I have to think of, because I literally wrote him a card when I left school, aged 12, saying that he was my hero. So yeah, he knows it too. So yeah, that's who my hero is. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? Ooh. I mean, recently I'm toying with the idea of America. Specifically, I guess, the West Coast. Like, I mean, California seems class. But I mean, I'd rather go there first and test the waters. It's very hard to say where could I live, if anywhere, if you've never been there for a long period of time. Because it's very different as well going somewhere as a holiday and living there. You know what I mean? So, place that I have lived so far are just around Ireland. Lovely places. But I would love to spend some time in California, and hopefully, fingers crossed, after lockdown I can. And see then if it's something that I would look into getting a visa, because that's a whole other kettle of fish. That's a very long process. So I would love to test the waters to see. I also have friends living in New Zealand, and I have always wanted to visit New Zealand. I would love to go, but who knows with COVID, that could be a long way down the line. And I have a friend living in Vietnam, and I would love to go there because I had been to Thailand with a friend before a few years back, and it was a wonderful experience. Wonderful country, like, just so gorgeous. And I would love to go back to Vietnam, just because I didn't do that, we didn't have enough time, so I'd love to see it too. But yeah, it's very hard to say where would you live ideally, having never been there before. I can dream and say these places look gorgeous on paper, but it's very different to being there, you know. Like, I mean, I hear about LA, for example, the traffic is a nightmare. This is just things I read in forums because I'm looking up facts about different areas that I am interested in. So, yeah. And I mean, I had friends living in New York who said, like, in the summer, the smell of hot garbage was just diabolical. And I assume by hot garbage they meant, like, the actual garbage and not their exes or something, but, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, there's pros and cons to living everywhere, I guess. So, yeah, that's that one. But I'm quite happy in Ireland as well, but I love Ireland, obviously. But I think for my career, and just talking to different people, they've always suggested to either go to the UK or America and just progress, because the industry is smaller in Ireland, you know, so there's more opportunities elsewhere. So that's just something I'm considering, I guess. What is your biggest fear? What is my biggest fear? I was always terrified of clowns as a kid. Not so much now. I mean, that question, what is your biggest fear? I can't watch any horror movies. I am the worst with horror. So it's it's hard to know how to narrow that down specifically. I can't go to haunted houses or a nightmare. Everything is difficult for me in the horror world. But I guess in the real world, my biggest fear. I think my biggest fear is that what if feeling, if that makes sense. The fear of not knowing, not taking a chance or a risk, or not knowing how something could have turned out, and leaving stones unturned, or leaving opportunities, I guess, is a big fear, and not seeing how they could have worked out. That's definitely a big fear of mine. Like, a big I guess the fear there like a regret? And the regret is the not doing the thing. So I guess all in that word, that would be my biggest fear. I can't stand roller coasters. I can't do them at all. It's a literal nightmare. Whenever I went on one, my friends used to pay me at the carnival to go on a ride, so they would watch my reaction because I would just sit there screaming, waiting for it to end. But we went to a theme park, and they forced me to go on the roller coaster. I hated every single second of it, and I sat like this. But I was sitting beside someone. I know that it takes a picture during it that you can buy afterwards. The picture it took was me doing this, and then the guy sitting beside me going. So it looked like I was going down on him in the middle of the ride. So I didn't buy that picture. Needless to say. So there's a lot of fears in there, isn't there? Yeah, take your pick of which one. What is your favourite family vacation? Oh, two stand out. I was in Chicago with my family years ago. I was like 9, I think, around that age, and then we went to Indiana because I had cousins living there at the time. That was amazing because it was my first experience of like big portions of food in like the most. It was my first experience of a buffet, I guess is what I'm trying to say, like a proper real buffet. And we stayed at the Fitzpatrick's Hotel in Chicago, and I will never forget that experience because that breakfast buffet changed my life. I had never experienced the types of melon that were even on offer there. They had honeydew, gala, cantaloupe. That was my first experience of a cantaloupe melon. They had watermelon, all these things. Like there was just a fruit bar that I just devoured, obviously. Then you had pancakes, waffles, hash browns. I never experienced anything like that. It was amazing. And also, me and my family went to Ibiza when I was like 9 or 10 or that, and I remember just have great memories with my brother and my dad. We went to like a water park, and my dad my mum was waiting. She's afraid of the water, so she wouldn't get in, but she was taking photos of us all coming out of the slide at the end on a disposable camera at the time, and she got me and my brother, and then my dad was nowhere to be found, and we were all waiting like, is he? And he'd gotten stuck in the ride, or the water hadn't come down quick enough, so he had to like hoist himself to the bottom. And the picture, it's just immaculate that my mother captured of him, because it's just him, like, it's incredible. So yeah, I'd say either of those two holidays. What would you change about yourself if you could? I mean, I want to say my self-doubt, because that's probably the biggest hindrance on my life day to day, and my anxiety all linked with that. But equally, I will say having that to a certain degree does at times aid the process of making content, because you start to doubt. If you can manage it in a small amount, it can be beneficial in that I'm like, is this good enough? And it encouraged me to make it better, to edit it more, to put more effort into it. And if I could just have it in that micro amount, that would be wonderful. But the problem is it blows everything out of proportion to the extent that I experience it a lot of the time. And it's crippling. Like, it's horrendous to try and deal with that on a daily basis. So I guess that is not even that I would want to change. Yeah, I guess I'd want to change it to be in a more manageable amount. I think that's what I would pick. Yeah. Or maybe to change my fear of roller coasters so my mates don't make a fucking show of me every time I go on one. Either of those. What motivates you to work hard? Jesus, what does motivate me to work hard? I guess Like, all I'm thinking of in this second is the "do it for her" poster in The Simpsons. That is literally all I can think of. My mind is blank. Do it for her. That's what I'm gonna go with. What? What? Oh yeah. What is your favorite thing about your career? There's a lot of pros and cons to any career in general. Favorite thing about my career, I guess, is I've met some amazing people. I mean, even look at the Tri Channel. They're some of my best and closest friends, like family to me. Yeah, sorry, if we go back to the family vacation thing, if I'm considering them as my family, obviously the Tri Channel trip last year to Orlando is the other favourite family trip, because the bond we made. So sorry, what was the question? I just went off just daydreaming about Orlando. What's your favourite thing about your career? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, getting to meet some incredible people and getting to be creative on a daily basis, and that no 2 days are really ever the same, because I had always toyed with the idea of being a primary school teacher, and I think I would have went insane doing the same thing every day, or even the same thing every year, the same curriculum. Like, that would drive me insane. And I'd worked at kids' summer camp, so I thought, oh, I love it. I'm glad for now that I didn't pursue that. Maybe down the line I could teach kids film, but given the way the world is right now, I think kids would end up teaching me stuff that I don't know about in technology. So I don't know if I even think about that, so I get sad. But yeah, I think that no 2 days are the same, and that one day you're working on a video for YouTube, or a funny sketch, or then you're working on a script, or then you're working on a fun client campaign when I was in my previous job. All these kind of things. So yeah, and then you're doing a podcast, say. All these things. So yeah, I think that's it. No 2 days are really ever the same. And the people you get to meet. Yeah. What is your biggest complaint about your job? Oof. Well, equally, on the same side of that page, you can meet in any career people that you don't really want to work with. But I don't think that would be the biggest complaint. I think my biggest complaint would be that I've gone freelance, that the lack of guaranteed income is concerning and terrifying for me. Freelancing as a thing is something I've never done before, so it's a whole new learning process, a whole new world, if you will, to quote Latin. But that's interesting, because I've never done anything like this before. So there's a lot of learning in that, but that's good, because I think you need to keep learning and challenging yourself and trying something new. And I was coasting in my old job and just numb. I was brain dead essentially every day. I was just checking in, checking out, and not really actively growing or learning more. And I was kind of at a standstill, so I needed some change, and I needed to grow and learn more, and that's what I'm doing. So I would say the biggest complaint is just that fear of not secured that income every month. And also, yeah, but I think that keeps you hungry. That keeps you hungry to keep creating and keep working and and keep seeking out opportunities, because you know you need to make that income. And you can't just coast along. And I think there's a benefit to that at times, because I feel more alive. I do. Since leaving my job, there's more life in me. There's just more of me, I guess. Yeah, and there's a lot more change and a lot more creativity flowing. I hope. Please don't go away, creativity, please stay. And who am I to say that? I feel that at times, but maybe I hope it's reflective in my work. I hope. Who knows? That's the hope. And it is difficult at times, because sometimes you don't want to do anything, but I guess that's my own struggle. And that's something that I have to some days force myself to be like, come on, get out of bed, get going, get creating. And that is tough some days, and it is, I do miss having a boss, whereby I was like, I have to be in the office at 9, I have to be on at 9, and I'm there till 5, and I'm working on their hours, so I am here. So it is difficult. I find it difficult being my own boss at times. I would say that's probably one of the biggest complaints, because I am not a good boss. Even when I was managing the team, I was like, do you know what, I'll do all the work for everyone. I don't, like, I don't like telling people what to do. And I struggle with myself. Not that I need to get a bit harder, I think. I'm doing it. So I'm learning and getting there. So it's all good. It's all a learning curve. It's all a learning process. It's all G. What is your proudest accomplishment? Okay, proudest accomplishment would be, it's very difficult as an Irish person to be proud of doing anything. That's something we push way down. You're not meant to show any bit of pride, or you've notion sickness, notions 11, notions 12. I guess it would be making that short film with all my relatives when I was like 13, 14, and getting to represent Ireland in a youth film festival in South Korea. Now that bit was class, but it's not even that bit that I'm proud of most. It's the making that whole video by myself and having something that I felt, that's the most proud I've probably ever felt. Showing that back to my relatives that were in it. And us having like a cast screening before I showed it at any festivals, and how proud they were of it as well, and to be involved in it, and that I created something that we always fondly remember and talk about and laugh and rewatch, and it blows their minds when I, mention it has like, a couple of thousand views on YouTube. They're like, oh God, and like, the people had seen it in America and Australia, and this blew their minds, and it was just to create something that my whole family really enjoyed being involved in, and I really enjoy the end product. I think that was more important to me than how it was perceived to a general audience. It meant more to me, or nothing's made me feel more proud than their reaction to that video. So yeah, I'd say that. Also making it this far, I'm quite, I guess, just sometimes I just stop and think of everything I've come through, and that sometimes catches me off guard, that I'm still here. And I don't take that for granted. And making it through my Leave Cert is the other last one, because I don't know how I did that either. I had relapsed with my anorexia essentially, and had collapsed and was back in A&E a few weeks prior, and I, after the first day, left saying I wasn't going to finish it at all. I was going to repeat the following year because I had not finished my exam, and I don't know how I made it through that. The principal had to be called. I had to just go in the following day, not to do the exams, they just wanted to see me. And a teacher at that school, who I'd never even had actually as a teacher, just said, look, just go in and sit the exam, and I did. And I got an A2 in that exam in the end. So it just goes to show, like, sometimes, even if you think you've messed up, don't give up. Because you can convince yourself at any moment, it's not worth my time, I've butchered this, there's no point even going on with this, it's done. Don't give up, ever. Just don't give up, because I experienced that multiple times. That was probably the most glaring one that I look back on now and like, mother of God, in that moment was like, I'm done. My year's over. I'm repeating the Leaving Cert next year. There's no point in even trying. Leaving Cert also, in case it's not clear, is the Irish state exam for high school, secondary school we call it, so you're age 17, and it's like, get your results from that to use to get into a college course. So you need to get enough grades to get to convert them into points, and then the point system is used in Ireland for colleges to get in. So yeah, that's what it was. What? Sorry, question 11 here. What is your child's proudest accomplishment? Well, that's not a question I can answer. I don't have any of those. What is your favourite book to read? I just finished Tina Fey's autobiography and I fucking loved it. I also read Mindy Kaling's books and I bloody love them. I think she's a fantastic writer. Just reading their stories of how they got to where they are was just fascinating, and they're incredible writers and they're just incredibly talented people, and I want to be both their friends. I'm currently reading Amy Poehler's, and I adore it as well, and I'm obsessed with all of them and their lives and their stories of how they got to where they are. And I mean, I read them kind of being like, maybe there's still a chance for me, or keep positive, keep going, just keep creating, keep working hard, because they work their arses off, and keep going. Yeah, I love all their writing, and they're inspiring. So those books really stand out to me because they're inspiring to me, and particularly to the field of work that we're like. They're in comedy, and I'm in comedy as well, so it's definitely far more interesting to me to read as well, because I can relate to stuff, or it's in the industry that I want to be more involved in. But their writing is fantastic. They're just so funny as well. Like, I am obsessed with all of them. They're amazing. I love them. Yeah, they're probably my favourite books. I know I've mentioned before, I do love BJ Novak's book as well of short stories. One more thing about the short stories, it's just, they're so funny. I love the short stories, but I really think Amy's, Mindy's and Tina's are just incredible. So yeah. What was the last movie you went to? What did you think? I mean, cinemas are non-existent last year. Jesus. What was the last movie I went to in the cinema? The last... I mean, we're talking 2019 here. Oh my Jesus. The last movie... Last time I went to a movie in the cinema was in 2019. That is the most tragic thing I've ever said out loud. And it was... I think it was either Joker or Parasite. I think it was Parasite. And I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. The twist, oh sweet divine Jesus. Incredible. Incredible film. Watch it if you haven't seen it. What did you want to be when you were small? Not a clue. I mean, my first introduction into media in primary school was kind of like, yeah, maybe I should go into this. So it was either that or home ec teaching. Or primary school teaching, excuse me. They were the three. So I still make cakes, and I used to work at kids' summer camps, so I've kind of knocked them all off. So I still do all of them kind of. But yeah, that's what I've always wanted to be. I did for a brief period of time, because I was like, I adore animals and dogs in particular, want to be a vet. But then it was like for a week tops, I would say, because I can't deal with blood at all. I faint every single time I get a blood test taken. I faint seeing blood. So I ruled that one out pretty quick, which is good, because it's nice to have that thing to be able to then directly rule out a job opportunity, because then I would have been grown up and like, well, what if I'd still done veterinary? You wouldn't have lasted 2 days, Stanford. You'd be on the floor. So yeah. Okay. What did you want to be when you were... Oh, sorry, that's the question I just asked. What makes you laugh the most? Well, that is a very broad question. I cannot narrow that down specifically. What makes me laugh the most? Like, being with different friends, I've some very funny friends that anything they say is just funny. Anything. Like, you could be telling a really heartfelt story and we're all just crippled laughing at them. That's not good either, really, I guess. Video cut off there. yeah, different friends of mine are very funny. Different shows, a lot of shows. I'm watching Motherland at the minute. It's incredible. I think it's hilarious. I just finished. I'm rewatching a lot of shows as well, like The Office, obviously, Parks and Rec, incredible. All these shows are brilliant. Yeah, different shows like that and movies. Yeah, different stand-ups. I mean, the usual things really. So, yeah, and different very funny friends. So that's what I would say. And also then sporadic videos that you'll see online are things. Things that, yeah. I mean, that's a very broad question. So, yeah. What does your child want to be when he grows up? Can't do that one either. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Oof. I mean, I could choose to do anything for a day. I'd love to be having a few drinks at the beach, at a pool. I'd love to have a pool outside. You can't have one in Ireland because it'd just be non-usable. One day a year you might get to use it in the sun. I'd love to be walking. Yeah, I'd love to be on a tour around LA. I'd love to go and see it properly and get a tour around all the hotspots, get told everywhere to go and do them, see all the sights, go to all the studios, get some good food, go and chill on the beach then with a few drinks and a few friends. That would be amazing. I would love that. I mean, I think in the current context of 2021 with COVID restrictions, I think I would be happy with doing anything currently. Like, I'd be happy to be able to sit in a restaurant with a friend because we can't currently do that. So, yeah, this year kind of changes that question. Because right now I'd be happy to be able to sit in a pub and have a pint with a friend, and I can't do that. Soon though, hopefully soon. But yeah, I'd love to be just chilling with a few drinks with a few friends at the beach. I'd love to be somewhere sunny on the beach. Not too sunny because my skin can't handle it. I don't tan, I just freckle and burn, and it's not fun. Yeah, I'd be chilling by a pool actually. A pool more so. Because sometimes the beach water can be very cold. It depends on the time of year. If it's a sunny, really sunny day somewhere, oh, that's class. Anyway, that's what I would do. If you could do... Okay, what is your favourite game or sport to watch and play? I'm not really the sporting type. I'm never really into it. What's my favourite sport to watch? I think my favourite sport to watch is the scanners at supermarkets, because that should be an Olympic sport. That should be an Olympic sport, quite frankly, at the speed at which they can scan those items through. I am in awe of those people. They deserve Olympic medals for the speed at which they do that. So that's my favourite sport to watch. Yeah. Not when I'm actually involved in it, whereby I'm trying to take the things and put them in a bag at the same rate at which they're scanning them through, because they are incredible. They are, I don't know if they're human. I feel like they are on steroids. I don't. But they're incredible. That's incredible athleticism from every person working there. So that's what I would say. In specifically Aldi and Lidl, I think they're going at a different rate. In Ireland anyway, I don't know about anywhere else, but they are banging those items out. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? I'm going to say no to the bike instantly, because that's exercise and that's just something I actually think allergic to. It's a real serious thing. Between the two other ones, I like horse riding. I used to do it, and I used to then do it with kids at summer camps and bring them around. That'd be fun, but it's kind of also very dangerous. A lot of injuries. Depends on the horse as well. If the horse doesn't like you, he'll let you know about it. So I'd say drive a car. Yeah, I'd say that. What two radio stations do you listen to in the car the most? I generally just bang on a old CD that I burned years ago, because my car isn't modern enough to have Bluetooth synced to it, so I can't use Spotify, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I love my car. It's an old car and I won't change it, because I just have never had a day's trouble with it, so why would I? I'm not one of these people that always wants to be upgrading their car. I don't see the point of it. I get too emotionally attached, and I love my car. I love it. And I'll be very sad for the day that it does stop working, but so far so good. And I'd have no interest. Even if I won the lotto, I'd be keeping that car. Like, I love it. And it's got dents, a few little dents. I love it. So yeah, I'd probably play one of those CDs, or I would listen to. I generally flick through, because if they're not playing a song I like, I'm like, nah, I'm out. So it's also fun if you flick through the stations and they're halfway through a sentence and then it cuts into another sentence. So they're like, and today we're talking about, and then it just cuts to like, you know, licking feet. You know, like it's always. Don't think it's ever happened, but you know what I mean. That's a bit of crack. But I would probably say I listen to iRadio or probably 98 FM or F104 or Spin. I mean, you're not going to know any of these stations if you're not from Ireland, but there you go. If you could say, which would you rather do? Wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house? I mean, mow the lawn because the smell is the best smell in the world of freshly cut grass. So I do enjoy that. But I also don't mind any other ones at all, really. Clean the bathroom is probably the lowest on the list. I'd avoid that if I can. Washing dishes, if they're my own dishes or people I know, is fine. I wouldn't wash anyone's dishes anyway, but like, I don't see that being a difficulty in general. I did that as a job when I used to work in a hotel, so yeah, vacuuming the house is grand as well. I'd probably go mowing the lawn or washing dishes though. They would be the two top ones I'd go for. If you could hire someone to help you, would it be with cleaning, cooking, or yard work? I don't think cleaning, cooking, or yard work. Cooking, I don't have a yard, so that's ruled out instantly. I don't know what that would be. Probably cleaning. Between cleaning and cooking, because I can cook. I can clean as well. I wouldn't be hiring them. I would just ask a friend to come over for the chats while I hoover the house, just so I'm not bored and alone. That's probably what I would do. I can't imagine hiring someone. I couldn't afford that anyway. Not right now. I could not afford that. But yeah, out of those three, if I had to pick one, it'd be cleaning, because if I'm in a communal area, I'm very clean. But sometimes, like my room will be messy, very messy, because it's my space, and generally because the rooms I end up being in are quite small. So I blame it on that, because I'm like, I have too many things. I need to get better at that. I've been going through phases of just throwing out a lot of stuff, and I've needed to, but I still have an awful lot of shite that I need to get rid of. So yeah. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Burrito bowl. Because burrito bowl incorporates everything. You've got your rice, you've got your beans, you've got your different meats, you got your different salsa, spices, you can change your spice levels every day. Oh my god, you put in extras. I think that would be the best meal to only eat for the rest of your life, because you can change it every day. I mean, obviously I want to say melon and apples because they're my babes, but I could put them on the burrito. Boom, did it. Mic drop. And this is the final question. Question 25. Who's your favourite author? Wow. Big shocker for you guys, but I never read like any of the big series. I've never read the Harry Potter series, Lord of the Rings. I've never read any of these series. I adored J.K. Rowling. Not J.K. Rowling. I adored Jacqueline Wilson as a child. She wrote like all the Tracy Beaker books and all those. I loved all those books as a kid. Favorite author now? I mean, honestly, like Mindy Kaling really stands out to me as a writer. I think she's fantastic. Her books were so funny, and she wrote a series of essays that came out even last year that I just adored. I love her writing so much. I just want to be, I want to be all their friends, like Tina, Amy, and hers. Also because Mindy wrote for The Office. So if you consider that being an author as well, I mean, it's writing. She's fantastic. She wrote all, essentially, the Toby bits as well. That was her. She loved writing for Toby and all the character interactions of Toby, which is just fantastic. So yeah, I would say that. I would say, yeah, Mindy's definitely up there. Yeah. They're the 25 questions. I hope that's helped you know a little bit more about me. They were weird, some of them. I do apologise. I hope it was still interesting to watch. And again, I'm sorry that I'm not editing this if that's a hindrance to you. But I just know if I do, I'll never put this out because it'll take me too long. Because my editing software and laptop are both a piece of shite right now and I'm struggling big time with them. So yeah, that's that. Hope you enjoy this. I will have hopefully more videos soon, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon. Do leave a comment if you have any thoughts about what I've talked about or anything to add, or give us a like or subscribe, or yeah, that's it. You can also check me out on Patreon or on all my other social platforms, which I'll put in the comment subscription, not the comment subscription, I'll put that in the description rather of this video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon. Cheers, thank you, good luck, bye.